Hey, welcome to our channel. Today we've got the 855 back in here. For those of you that haven't been following along, this is our 855. We've been wrenching on for the last couple of months. We dragged it out of a barn and it had been sitting unused for about 10 years. And we got it going. Lots of different little things we had to do to it, but now she runs and drives, works great. And this thing came with a Model 52 loader. And today we're going to get this loader up and running again, right after this. So the first thing we got to take care of on this Model 52 loader is it's supposed to have stands, parking stands that go in here, and this loader didn't come with it. And so today the first thing we're going to do is try to make up some stands. I've just got it propped up. So the stands are supposed to store inside the frame here, but they weren't there. So let's see if we can make something up and get this thing going again. So this is what I've come up with so far. I've got a piece of 1-inch solid bar. I've drilled a 1/8 hole, about a 1/4 inch from the end. And that'll just be for this. That'll go in like that. 2 inches from the end, I drilled the 3/8 hole right through. It's going to be a 3/8 nut and bolt to secure that in place. That's what I've got so far. And then I've made up this to clear the tires. This will go in like so. And right now all I've got is a couple of pieces of wood to wedge the bottom, because I'm not exactly sure what height I'm going to need. I'm thinking I'm either going to put another piece of 1-inch bar in there with pins for height, for adjustment, or I might weld a 1-inch nut on the bottom and just put a long bolt and weld the foot on the bolt. And now I've got to make another one of those and finish tacking that up a little stronger, and we'll try it for height. Well, let's see if everything clears. Yay, I think that'll work. Now I have to hook up the hydraulics, and I'm going to finish welding those arms. So I had to change the plans. This was the 1-inch piece I had in there. And after using it, I just felt it was too loose, too floppy. So I cut it apart. And now I have a piece. I have 1.25 inch solid bar. And I've cut a 1/2 inch hole in it. It lines up with the hole that's in the frame here. Put a 1/2 inch bolt in there, and that's nice and tight now. So I'm in the process of cleaning it and painting it, and once I get that done, we'll show you how it works. So I put new remotes on the lines of the loader, attached the loader to the tractor, and I started cycling through the motions to test everything as I was doing the loader stands, and this happened. I don't know if you can see it, it's stuttering. The steering, everything. Looks like we've contaminated. Looks like whatever fluid was in the loader arms has contaminated the system again, and we probably got to clean that filter again. So for those of you that have watched the series from the start, I've already flushed out the system twice, cleaned the filter, and it looks like I got to do it again. So remember, this is the 3rd time I've pulled this filter out. I flushed the fluid twice, and there's so much guck in there it started collapsing the filter. So I used this several hours, tractor on its own, driving around, pulling sweepers and things like that. And the hydraulics, everything worked fine. As soon as I hooked up that loader, as it's on there now, it started acting up. So this must have been in the lines of the loader. What I did this time is I have a pump on my tractor, and I was actually able to suck the oil out of there, and I ran it through a filter into a clean pail. I'm going to run this back and forth a couple times through the filter, and hopefully I don't have to change the filter again, especially if I'm going to be doing that backhoe. I'm going to have to filter that oil as I put it on, and then maybe I'll change the oil again one more time after that. The loader gets held to the frame of the tractor by those two brackets, and this bolt holds it all together. Now that's being secured by these two 5/8 pin and a long cotter key. On this side, the cotter key had broken, and that pin was missing completely, and this was just sitting there being held by that. So I took it off, and I was going to make a new pin, and I noticed that pin's pretty chewed up. So I've decided now to make 4 new pins. After seeing the condition of these pins that I previously showed you, they're all worn, and I made new ones. Those were 5/8. I decided to check the bucket pins themselves, and they were really badly worn. See right there, they're really bad, and a lot of them, they have like a locating tab on them, and they were broken. 2 of them were broken. 2 of them still had tabs on them, and so I cut those off, and I made 4 new pins. Those are 3/4. So good old Home Depot. I got 3/4, 5/8, and 3/8, and 3/8 is what I made those from. And another thing I wanted to do, the bucket itself's been a little chewed up. Obviously, probably chains have been hooked on there, and it's bent it, and there's a bit of a bow in here. So I'm going to straighten that out, and I'm going to add this to there, and I'm going to weld on some grab hooks so I don't have to bend the bucket up anymore. So that's my next job. I'd say that fits pretty good. There, now I can weld it in place, grind a bit of the paint off, be a lot stronger. I don't know what color this originally came. Looks like it originally came green, but I'm painting it black because I have more black paint than anything else. And I think black looks pretty good. And I've got lots of cardboard down because I'm kind of messy. So I've made up a whole batch of new hardware, and let's start changing them up. And she's all painted. Like I showed you, we have all new pins throughout. Bucket we cleaned and we painted. We added that brace, and I still have to get some hooks to weld on here. Seems to work pretty good. The hydraulics, except for that contamination, It seems to work okay, except for I have an oil leak on this cylinder here, and I'll probably have to put a kit in it. But other than that, everything seems to work okay. And you can see in there, I have our parking stands. And they just mount on here with just a little clip. Here's the parking stands that I made. They seem to fit quite nicely. I made them fit into the regular holder. There's one on that side. They come off with just a pin. The bolt there is what holds it in place when it's on the tractor, and they stay in there. It doesn't seem to fall out. So let's run this thing through, and we'll see how it comes off. So once you park the tractor and you release all the pressure on the hydraulics, and you have to take this pin out here. There's a pin right here. That comes out. That drops that out. And that allows you to unscrew this. Not as easy as the Model 70 or 70A, but it's not bad. It's easy enough. Just takes a bit more time. That comes off. Use the same pin that you used before, and you tuck that in there. And that holds that. That holds that up out of the way. Do the same thing on the other side. Now we have to start the tractor and use the hydraulics to lift the arms off. Shut it off. You take this pin out. The arm comes out. Bolt off. Put the clip back so I don't lose it. Just find the hole here. Same thing on the other side. And you start the tractor. Now here's the only tricky part. Let me bring you in closer. Now you'll have to watch as I play with the hydraulics to try to get that centered so I can just back out of there. Unhook your hydraulic lines. On my 755, the lines had color-coded tabs, and these were color-coded. So I've made these the same. I put a little dab of paint on each one of these, and it's yellow, silver, black, and green. Yellow, silver, black, and green. So it makes it easier to, you don't have to worry about remembering which one goes where. Lots of room. So there's the parking stands. And there's our little bracket that I attached it onto the tractor with. And it tucks nicely out of the way. So let's put this thing back on, and then I'll show you the stands by themselves. Start it off and hook up your hoses. Pretty easy to hook this up. Remember, as I told you, it has color code. Yellow, silver, easy as that. Use the pressure again. Like I said before, I put a lot of never seeds on everything. These were so seized down there when I got it, I had to use a pipe wrench and a bar. You only go so far. Put the clip back in there. Same thing on the other side. There. He's back on, ready for some work. So these are the two supports I made. The overall length is 33 inches. I've got this leg at 25 inches. And I've got about 7 there. And 6.5 there. So this angle here and there, if I remember correctly, is around 30 degrees. This is solid 1.25 inches. You could make the whole thing out of 1.25 inches. I wouldn't be surprised if the factory one was. But this is 1.25 inches solid with a 1/2 inch hole in there. And it's at about 1 1/8 from the end. And this is a 1 inch Schedule 40 pipe welded together. And there's some 3/16 by 1 1/4 flat bar that he just bent up, and some 3/8 little bolts that I cut off, and I put a clip in, and I got 3-inch, 1/2-inch bolts. So that's how I made mine. These will not clear a mower deck. So if you have a mower deck, you'll have to make something different, or you'd have to take the mower deck off. But this is how I made mine, and they work fine for my application. So the loader's all done. It works. I'm going to use it here. Don't have anything really serious for her right now, but she's going to be busy doing some yard work, moving some mulch and picking up stuff. So it's all ready to go. I'm glad we got that done. And the next thing we'll be doing is the backhoe. And I really appreciate you guys following, commenting, liking, subscribing. And if I'm lucky, we'll catch you next time.